Alright, y'all, what's up? We're back. First game post NBA season. I don't know if y'all are as sad as I am, but it kind of hurts my feelings that we don't get to watch any more basketball. Not any more NBA basketball. We'll talk about some WNBA basketball and what to watch. But let's get today's show started. We'll start with some boxing news. The long-awaited McGregor Mayweather card is ready. After more than a year of negotiations, a date has finally been set for the fight between Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. There have been the two have agreed to an August 26th date in Las Vegas to get a long-anticipated boxing match between the undefeated Money Mayweather. Money Mayweather's been 49-0 in his career, and the two-weight UFC world champion Conor McGregor. Now, Mayweather's the overwhelming favorite to win, considering his previous fighting record, and the fact that, Conor McGregor has never been involved in a boxing match. Now, T-Mobile Arena is the supposed location for the fight. Things could change, but I'm pretty sure T-Mobile Arena is locked in, considering its size. The fight will be contested under boxing rules, according to UFC President Dana White. Now, there were a lot of speculation that the fight would maybe be under some hybrid rules, but Dana White confirmed that it will be boxing rules. Not sure how that's gonna hurt or help McGregor. I don't see it helping him too much, but whatever. It's gonna be considered the most valuable fight of all time. The fight is expected to gross almost $5 million pay-per-view buys, which totals up to about $475 million. Sponsorship will top about $20 million, while Nevada's betting on the fight will be about $30 million. If you want to watch the fight on pay-per-view, if you don't want to go to, Buffalo Wild Wings or Twin Peaks or Hooters or somewhere, if you want to watch it in the comfort of your own home, pay-per-view, you're looking at about somewhere around $100 to get the fight. I don't know if you want to do it. I mean, that's up to you. There's a lot more to go along with the story. Independent.co.uk wrote a great write-up. That'll be available on my Twitter account, Between the Lines, which is BTWN, The Lines Pod. That's on Twitter. I'm excited to see the fight. I didn't think it would happen. I was kind of skeptical about it, but now that it is going to happen, I'm kind of excited to see the fight. I don't know how McGregor will fare against Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest fighters, if not the greatest fighter of all time. So we'll see. Like we said, McGregor's never boxed. It's not gonna be under hybrid rules, so we'll see what happens. I would put my money on Mayweather if I were you, though. Let me know in the Facebook Live comments who you going with. Are you going with Floyd Money Mayweather, or are you going with Conor McGregor? Let me know. All right, let's move on to some NCAA news. Louisville and Rick Pitino, they finally got a ruling from the NCAA as of Thursday. The NCAA has officially handed down a punishment to the Louisville men's basketball team and head coach Rick Pitino for several violations involving players being set up with escorts by a former staffer. The investigation, it dates back to August 2015, when escort Katrina Powell alleged that former staffer Andre McGee paid for dances and sex on behalf of players and recruits. Now, this story comes from USA Today. Of course, you can find that link later on my Twitter account. The school, after the initial investigation, self-imposed some penalties, including a postseason ban for the 2015-2016 team, and they voluntarily reduced 2 scholarships this past season. The NCAA decided that wasn't enough. Pitino was cited for a failure to monitor. Under his own admission, he said he had no idea what was going on under his supervision. He's going to be suspended for the first 5 ACC games in the 2017-2016 season. Louisville, as a school, will be placed on 4 years of probation. They'll also be required to vacate records that involved the 3 student athletes involved that they competed in while being ineligible. These wins date back to December 2010 and July 2014. These wins could possibly, even if we're not sure yet, but they could possibly include the national title that the Cardinals won in 2013 or their 2012 Final Four appearance. Additionally, the organization will have 4 scholarships reduced during their probationary period. The NCAA released a statement saying that the university will provide a report that contains games impacted by the vacation of records within 45 days of the public decision release, so within 45 days of Thursday that just passed. Louisville has issued an intention to appeal the decision, which was, I'm not really understanding the intention to appeal the decision, but like I said, the link to the story will be available later on. I remember hearing about this story my last year undergrad, kind of surprised, not very surprised, yeah, I would say surprised, but I didn't expect the NCAA to be so tough in their ruling. I thought that the Louisville's own self-imposed sanctions would maybe be enough, but the NCAA, I guess they're trying to nip it in the bud. So we'll see what happens with that appeal and what happens with Coach Pitino. He said he's lost a lot of faith in the NCAA, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, some NBA news. Like I said, sadly the season has come to an end. We have to wait until October for some new NBA action. But we know we have a few things to look forward to. The draft, the NBA awards, which is later on this month. We have Big 3 basketball to look forward to, which was started by Ice Cube. I'm really excited for that. Some Summer League action. So there's stuff to fill our time. But let's talk about the draft really quick. The Celtics and the 76ers, they're in talks to trade draft picks ahead of next week's NBA draft. Now, league sources say that the trade would involve the Sixers sending a, quote, package of draft picks to Boston, including their 3rd overall pick, in exchange for Boston's number 1 pick. The deal will put Philly in a position to draft projected first-round pick Markelle Fultz to go with last year's number 1 pick, Ben Simmons, who, if you're feeling like you haven't heard from Ben Simmons in a while, it's because he got hurt right before the season started. He never played a game for the Sixers. We're expecting him to come back next season. Like I said, it's going to put them in a position to draft Markelle Fultz to pair with Ben Simmons. They've also shown some interest in Josh Jackson, who's been the focus of recent draft talks with the Lakers. He actually went for a second workout with the Lakers and the Celtics. They've also been taking interest. A source close to the situation says that they're pretty certain that the trade is going to go through, telling ESPN's Mark Stein, quote, they are swapping 1 and 3. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, for a long time, it seemed like Markelle Fultz was a lock at number 1. Josh Jackson, like I said, has emerged in talks. I don't think Lonzo Ball is in talks for number 1. He did have a second workout with the Lakers earlier. I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday. They said his first workout, he was feeling a little under the weather. He took some medicine, so that could explain his performance. So they brought him back in for another workout. We'll see how that works. I'm very excited to see what happens. I'm excited to get some news about if my Celtics will get rid of that number 1 pick. And if they do, what are we going to do with the 3 and the rest of the picks that the Philadelphia will send to us? So we're playing long ball. We're looking forward to being able to compete with the Cavaliers out east. And maybe closing the gap, maybe giving the Cavaliers a little run for their money in the coming years. Moving on to speaking of the Cavaliers, LeBron is he out of Cleveland in 2018? I know a lot of Cavaliers fans don't like to hear that, but it's Woj from the Vertical. He seems to think that it's a possibility. Following his team's loss 4-1 in the finals, there's some speculation that LeBron James may be leaving the land again after the 2017-18 season. Now, I'm going to try to say Woj's last name, Adrian Wojnarowski from the Vertical. He reported on this podcast that the Los Angeles Clippers and the Los Angeles Lakers may be possible landing spots for LeBron James in free agency. He said, quote, not only is there no guarantees coming back, I'm not sure there's an expectation he's re-signing there. I think within Cleveland and around the league, they feel that he's very much in play to leave again and likely head out west to one of the 2 LA teams. Lakers could very well be a target. Now, if you know anything about LeBron James, Woj said he'd feel more comfortable leaving again because he brought them a championship in 2016. Being part of either LA-based team is going to allow LeBron James to pursue his business ventures outside of basketball. The Cavaliers, they're almost $27 million over the cap going into next year, according to Sports Track. So they'll have little to no wiggle room to even sign any big names unless something happens. They move Kevin Love, something astronomical happens. I don't see them making too many more moves that could match what Golden State did in acquiring Kevin Durant last summer, almost a year ago. That was on July 4th. So for the Clippers to be in this attractive destination, they'll need to find a way to keep Chris Paul, who, they said when free agency starts on July the 1st, he's going to have some meetings with the Denver Nuggets. I believe the Houston Rockets was a destination, and the San Antonio Spurs. So we don't know if Chris Paul's flirting around to try to make his main girl, see what she has in him, or if he's actually planning on leaving the Clippers. Blake Griffin will also need to stick around for the Clippers to be an attractive destination for LeBron. The Lakers are also, in their case, they'll need to attract a star like maybe Paul George, who said who's playing long ball with staying with Indiana for a year, trying to get more money when he leaves, and maybe possibly heading out west back home to LA. I never thought for a second when LeBron went back to Cleveland that he'd spend the rest of his career in Cleveland. I think he did it to kind of vindicate himself when he left the first time. He left without the scrutiny, so he went back to say, look, here, I gave you the championship. I always thought he'd move out west. I don't know about the Lakers. The Lakers never kind of popped into my mind. The Clippers was a destination I was thinking about. Of course, Laker fans think that they can just get anybody in the world. They think they can wrangle all the superstars. They think they can get Russell Westbrook and Kawhi Leonard and anybody else who's a big name in the NBA. But I'd like to see it happen. You know, I feel like he brought the team their championship in 2016. Maybe he can make some shape next season. But I agree. I think he's out of Cleveland sooner than later. Speaking of the Clippers, Jerry West, he's on his way to Southern California following his championship win with the Golden State Warriors. West is going to be joining the Los Angeles Clippers after 6 years in a special consultant role with the Warriors to serve in a similar role with the Clippers. Now, Jerry West is regarded as the one who built 2 Laker championship teams as a general manager. He built the Showtime Lakers in the 80s and then the Kobe Shaq dynasty, their three-peat dynasty. Now, while with the Warriors, he wasn't in a decision-making role, but he was a respected voice out there throughout the organization. He told Sports Illustrated Wednesday night that these were 6 of my happiest years, speaking of his years with the Warriors, to be around a team like this with these kind of guys. I've been around a long time, and I can tell you it's a rare experience. So maybe Jerry West going to the Clippers attracts LeBron. Who knows? A lot of things going on that'll I feel like that'll make next NBA season a pretty interesting one, especially next year's free agency. It'll be a pretty interesting one. Can he get Carmelo Anthony to join him? Can he get Chris Paul to join him? Can they get a old man and Dwayne Wade to join them? Is it a super team when everybody's over 30? We'll see. A lot of talk about super teams. And we're going to take a break real quick. Then we're going to talk about Game 5. I know it's a lot of Cavaliers fans that were very hurt. Very hurt. One in particular being Steve Harvey, who we're going to get out of the paint a little later. But let's take a break. Let's refocus. And then we'll come back. You're listening to Between the Lines on WEZO 1230 AM The Blaze. Where we're more than just music or where radio should be. Keep it locked. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere now. Stay right here. We'll be right back. Alright, y'all, we're back from break. Let's move into Game 5. I didn't think Ryan would want to come in here and mourn the loss of his Cavaliers, so I left him alone. I let him have it on Twitter, but I left him alone. I didn't want him to have to come in here and face a potential breakdown or anything. So I'm just gonna talk about Game 5 alone. I'd love to hear you guys' comments. You can follow my Twitter, Between the Lines, BTW and the Lines Pod, or that's on Twitter. Or you can join my Facebook Live. There are 4 people in it, 2 people in here. It's a party. There are people that are coming in and out. You can come in and have a conversation with me on my Facebook Live. So, like we all expected, the Warriors, they won their second title in 3 years. Now, I'm going to say I expect this to be a much longer series. I thought we'd at least go into later on in the week, but I knew the Warriors would eventually pull it out. So, let's get right into it. Following that craziness, the debacle in Game 3 with the foul calls and the referees botching up stuff, they set the tone early, called a foul on Klay Thompson 12 seconds into the game, so we kind of knew what kind of game this was going to be. Klay Thompson, KD, K-Love, they all ended up with 2 fouls in the first few minutes of the game. Dubs jumped out early. I think they were up 9-4, 9-5. But then the Cavaliers went on a 9-0 run, and the Warriors ended up trailing 13-9. I was like, ooh, let's see who's going to withstand the storm. I tried to tell my sister. She spent a lot of time just making noise. But in the times when she wasn't making noise, I was like, whoever's going to be the one to weather the storm and just keep fighting. That's the one that either Cavaliers are going to prolong the series or the Warriors are going to eventually pull it out. It seemed like the Cavaliers were going to prolong the series. LeBron James led the way early. He was 5 of 6 from the floor in the opening minutes. The Cavaliers, they ended the first quarter leading the way 37-33. I think it was Mike Breen who said that the team who won the first quarter in each of the previous 4 games had ended up winning. So, I believe the Cavaliers had some hope when they went up 37-33 in the first. Cavs came out with more of the same early in the second round, capitalized off some Warrior miscues, some turnovers, just maybe some miscommunication on the offensive end. The Warriors then in the second quarter, they blew it wide open, went on a 28-4 run, turned a 41-33 deficit into a 61-45 advantage. A big moment in the third quarter. David West and Tristan Thompson got into a little argument. So what happened was David West and Kyrie Irving actually were they were fighting over a loose ball, kind of tussled a little bit. Jump ball was called. Tristan Thompson decided that he wanted to be tough. Now, I don't know if you know who David West is. if you're a new NBA fan, you probably just think of David West as the old guy on the Warriors bench. But David West is what Michael Smith and Jamel Hill like to call one of those bout that life all-stars. You don't mess with David West. David West is not the guy to play around with. Tristan Thompson, I don't know if he forgot that. Maybe he was feeling a little tough, a little adrenaline pumping. But he got into David West's face, and I've never seen two people so close in my life. They were literally nose to nose on the court going at it. So within that little spat, once the smoke cleared, David West, Tristan Thompson, and J.R. Smith, who was kind of in the back instigating the ordeal, they all ended up with a technical foul. Now, I know you're wondering, technical fouls were going around and Draymond Green didn't get a piece of it? No. Draymond Green actually did not get any technical fouls within that entire thing. I was so proud of him. He knew the stakes were high. He was out of Game 5 last year, which many consider the turning point of the series. He didn't play at all. The Cavaliers went on to win Game 5, send it back to Cleveland. They win Game 6, send it back to the Warriors, send it back to Oracle. We know the story from there. 3-1 lead is blown. Cavaliers are holding the championship trophy at the end of the series. So they look like the Cavaliers, after that spat, looked like the Cavaliers still had a fighting chance by the top of the fourth. After LeBron layup, cut it to 3. Then KD hit a baseline jumper, then a 3 after that to give his team an 8-point cushion. And the Warriors, they just never looked back from there. And here we are, a few days later, looking at the Golden State Warriors with the addition of Kevin Durant as our 2017 NBA champions, our world champions. Let's just go through some team stats. The Cavaliers, this is the interesting thing. The Cavaliers, they were 53.4% from the floor. Golden State was 51.1%. 3-point percentage, they beat the Warriors in that, 45.8. Golden State had 36.8. Points in the paint, Cavaliers led the way with 62 to the Warriors 52. They turned the ball over 2 more times than the Warriors, 15-13. The Golden State Warriors out-rebounded the Cavaliers 53-45. They out-assisted the Cavaliers 27-22. And they stole the ball twice over the Cavaliers 8-6. So, I mean, the game in terms of skill, well, I won't say skill. The game in terms of stats, we'll say stats, the numbers, was close. But in terms of overall skill and grit and who just wanted it more, the Warriors severely outmatched the Cavaliers, especially down the stretch. Kyrie had 26 points and 6 assists to follow up his 40-point performance in Game 4. Tristan Thompson, he had 15 and 8. I still expect a lot more from Tristan Thompson. Maybe, I don't know what they got to do in the offseason to get Tristan Thompson's head in the game, but that just can't happen in a series. Like 15 points, he had an 8-point game. Before that, he had maybe scored 8 combined points. It doesn't make sense for him to play the way he does, considering his size. I don't get it. Hopefully in the offseason, the Cavaliers can find some way to reel Tristan Thompson in and get him to play up to his potential. This guy's the 4th pick in the draft. So the way he performed offensively in this series is unacceptable. JR was hot. He had 25 points, 7 to 8 from 3, 9 of 11 from the floor. And then Cavaliers fans, honestly, if you're looking for a scapegoat in this loss, don't put it on LeBron. Anybody, honestly. Fans of just the game in general. It's not on LeBron. This man averaged a triple-double for the season. He had 41 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists in that game, in Game 5. Averaged a triple-double in the series. I'm sorry, not the season. Here are some of his post-game comments talking about, just his role with the team this postseason.
Well, for me personally, I left everything on the floor every game, all 5 games. So for me personally, I have no reason to put my head down. I have no reason to look back at what I could have done or what I shouldn't have done or what I could have done better for the team. I left everything I had out on the floor every single game for five games in this finals, and you come up short. So, I mean, it would be the same if you feel like you wrote the best column of your life and somebody picked another one over you. How would you feel, Jason? So, you wouldn't hold your head down, but you'd be like, okay, it's just not my time. So,
like I said, you can't blame LeBron. That, me personally, was a little bit of shade. I'm not gonna lie, because honestly, him personally, he did everything he could to keep his team afloat. His other guys just didn't show up when the time counted. I hope things fare well for LeBron. He's already back to work. I think we'll see the Cavaliers and the Warriors again. I think we'll see it one last time. Steph, let's get on to the Warriors. Stephen Curry. I heard he prefers to be called Stephen, so I'll call him Stephen. Stephen Curry. He had 34 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. Kevin Durant said he played like a big dog in the final game, and that he did. Klay Thompson was relatively quiet. He had 11 points. But he came up big on defense throughout the series, and especially in Game 4. He only had 1 steal and 1 block, but a lot of the things he did within the game that doesn't show up on the stat sheets, he played some great defense on LeBron, played some great defense on Kyrie, especially down the stretch. Klay Thompson's defense is, along with his offense, really pay attention to that guy's defense. He plays well. He and his father, Klay Thompson, and his father, Michael Thompson, they joined Bill and Luke Walton as the only father and son duos to win multiple rings each. Klay has 2. Michael Thompson has 2. He got 2 rings with the Los Angeles Lakers and during his player career. So, Draymond Green, he had 10 points, 5 assists, 12 rebounds. 2015's Finals MVP, Andre Iguodala, had 20 off the bench. Then your Finals MVP, Kevin Durant, he shot 14 of 20 from the floor, had 39 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds in the win. Got his first title. I was so happy for that guy. Got his first title, averaging 35.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 5.4 assists per game. Here's him talking about just his role, how happy he is to be with this group of guys and his role with the team after the win. Here's him in his post-game comments.
You know, I can remember when we were in Sacramento and we just lost to Memphis. We gave up the lead. We were up 20. I'm sure you guys remember. Draymond pulled me to the side. We were having dinner the next night in Sacramento, and he told me to be myself. Don't worry about anything. Just be you. Keep working. Everything's going to come around. And I was struggling at that point. And to have teammates that encourage you, that lift you up, that's what we all need in life, you know what I mean? And it was amazing to just see that all year. And right now, just to be here with these guys, man, it's amazing.
I'm so happy for Kevin Durant. You know what? I love me some Wanda Durant because he was trying to talk to Doris Burke, and Kevin Durant was trying to talk to Doris Burke, and she said, "No, ma'am, I have things to say to my son." And so, in the middle of Doris Burke trying to talk, she's giving Kevin Durant a pep talk, and he proved that you don't turn away from your mama when she's trying to talk to you. You don't turn away from moms. So it was just great to see KD finally get a win. I don't care what you say about Kevin Durant's decision to join the Warriors. You can call it a weak move, call him a super team, whatever you want to call him. But this guy, he spent a decade in the league full of ups and downs. 2012, we watched him just collapse into his mom's arms after that loss to LeBron in the 2012 finals. And to see him here to win, to get the Finals MVP, he looks like he's enjoying basketball. I'm just really excited for Kevin Durant. I'm excited to see where this team goes. Then the Warriors parade. Now, let me tell you, I caught myself trying to watch the Warriors parade, not knowing that thing was going to be 5 hours. Girl, I couldn't get through it, but I did get some of the highlights. Klay Thompson talks about some of his sacrifices. You know, with Kevin Durant coming in, everybody said Klay Thompson would have to sacrifice touches. He said he don't feel like he had to sacrifice anything. He hopes to be a warrior for a long time and build a dynasty. Now, this is the highlight of the parade. Draymond Green and LeBron James went back and forth. Now, let's just get this clear real quick before I continue. Draymond Green and LeBron James are friends. So, any of the trash talk, it's harmless trash talk between friends. So, LeBron put a picture of Draymond Green in a t-shirt that read Quickie with a graphic of the Larry O'Brien trophy right next to it. And LeBron on Instagram said, "That's what she said, huh, Dre?" Everybody laughed. Russell Westbrook liked it. James Harden liked it. It was pretty funny. Then Drake came back with a photo of LeBron post recent haircut. Now, you remember LeBron said he'd do anything to be like Mike except for go bald. Well, he had like a pretty close shave. Draymond Green said the Dubs finally made you go bald, huh? Now, Draymond Green, going back to that Quickie t-shirt, here's him speaking to the beautiful and the great Roz Gold on Wude. Here's him talking about that Quickie shirt.
I want you to break down the t-shirt.
Well, the Q, you know, that's what those guys' arenas called. I got him out here quick with the trophy, Quickie.
Who was responsible for the t-shirt?
I mean, I was responsible for the idea.
Yeah.
Nick was responsible for the production. So, you know, we actually got it made in Cleveland. How about that?
Oh wow.
Draymond Green is just the troll king. He went on later on in the interview to say it was just to get back at LeBron, who wore an Ultimate Warriors t-shirt. Steve Kerr referenced it a little bit in his parade comments, his platform comments. I just think it's so cool to watch NBA players go back and forth and just talk trash to each other. I love it. Something cool that came out of all of this, well, it's cool to me. It may not be cool to others, but I think it's pretty cool, and this is my show, so I'm going to say it. The Warriors, they decided to not go to the White House via unanimous team decision. I'm pretty sure, I'm doubtful that the White House would have even invited the Warriors, considering that the stance that they've taken. I'm just wondering, will this become more of a thing? I kind of hope so. I hope that teams, exercise their rights to have opinions and to take sides, and they don't. I mean, if they want to go to the White House, no sweat off my. I don't care. But it's just good to see players exercise that right. Real quick, gonna get KD out of the paint for spitting out that beer. Look, bro, if you didn't want the beer, you didn't have to drink it. It's okay. You're a grown man. No peer pressure. Gonna get Channing Frye out the paint. Says he wished he could have talked more trash following their loss to the Warriors, but he only had 2 points in the entire series, so he knows that he had to stay in his lane and keep his mouth closed. I'm also gonna get Steve Harvey out the paint for some comments that he made to a listener who said that the Cavaliers didn't deserve a win. This man said some inflammatory stuff about Flint, Michigan, where the caller is from. At the end of the day, bro, it's just a game. We don't have to do all of this. Let me tell you what to watch. Marlins and Braves, they're going to come on at 4:10. I got my Braves jersey on right now. That's on Fox Sports South. We're hoping the Braves get some revenge. They went down 5-0 to the Marlins last night, so hopefully they get a win this time. And next Friday, June 23rd, the Washington Mystics and the Minnesota Lynx, they're going to play on ESPN2 at 8 p.m. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. This is Between the Lines on WEZO 1230 AM The Blaze, where we're more than just music. We're what radio should be. Follow me on Twitter, get at me on Facebook, and see me on YouTube where you'll have a visual version of this episode. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.